Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Man United Talks first transfer review of the summer. Now, first things first, I just want to get out of the way. Obviously, I haven't uploaded in about a week and a half. The transfer window has been open for, I believe, a week now, and it's time to get into it. If you do enjoy, drop a like and subscribe. Comment if you have anything you want to say, any suggestions, any transfers you know about that I didn't mention. And yeah, let's get right into it. So, before I go any further, there are birds outside. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're really annoying me. So, yeah, just get that out of the way. The first video, this one, is just going to be about transfers that are not definite. There are some links to some of the transfers that will be involved in these transfer reviews, I guess. Yeah, I said that. It's a mix of who I want to leave versus who I think will leave. With some links I know about for sure, some news I know about for sure in terms of players not wanting to be here, players wanting to come here. And yeah, there's just a lot going on, and nothing's for sure, obviously, until you see the picture of a player holding up a different jersey. Nothing is for sure, or a different kit. But yeah, we're going to start with the outs, and then we'll go to the ins, obviously. So number one, and probably the one I'm most happy about, is Marouane Fellaini. He is out of contract at Manchester United. He somehow lasted, 5 seasons since Moyes took over. He signed a 1-year extension. He somehow lasted to play for Manchester United for 5 years when he had no business being here in the first place. He did his job. He wasn't a terrible player to have, but it's just, it was more of a manager selection of him rather than him actually being a problem. I mean, you look back at his mistakes when he got subbed on against Everton, when we gave up the penalty when we were winning. That was probably the turning point for when we really wanted to let him go. There was no need for that. He's not a defensive substitution by any stretch of the imagination. Everton weren't playing long ball. Why are we why? Why are we doing that? That's unnecessary, and we've brought him on, and it's not working. You think when we got knocked out versus Sevilla in the round of 16 of Champions League, Fellaini had been injured for, I believe, the whole month prior, and that was his first start in about 2 months, or something of that length. And we played it, and Jose started him in that game for no good reason. Yeah, but I just think his time's up. Like I said, I don't think he should ever came to Manchester United, but you take what you get. Moyes, you had to trust him. He was a new guy, let it run. But he's been linked to AC Milan and PSG, and yeah, that's that. So hopefully he just, he's gone. There's nothing, it's not like he can come back. So yeah, AC Milan or PSG, which I believe are two very interesting choices. But hey, football's football, man. Bye, Fellaini. Number two, this is one I'm a bit sad about. Not really, I guess, upset to the point where I want to cry, but a player I thought would have a better time at Manchester United, and I think he would have had a better time had he probably played in a back three as the right center half. But by that, you should know I'm talking about if you know the channel. Matteo Darmian is linked with a move to Juventus. That's another. I just think it's time. It's time. It's another one. I just think it's time. The rumored fee is between 12 and 20 million. Whether that is euros or pounds, I'm not sure. But hey, I mean, Juventus are in a much better position than us, and they're going to challenge for sure. So all the best to Matteo Darmian. There's not much to say about that transfer. It's no need for him really to be here. So, Timbo is coming back, so he will be our backup right back, if not our starting right back. So all the best to Darmian and his future endeavors. On to number three, we got the likes of Daley Blind. Daley Blind is a man that I've said throughout his whole United career, or so I should say, from his second season up until right now, I always said he should have played in the holding midfield role, and he did play in the holding midfield role in his first season, behind Di Maria and what's his name? Behind Di Maria and Fletcher, behind Rooney and Carrick, or he just played in the holding midfield role. I don't know what changed from then on, but he won the league and Ajax, playing the holding midfield role, and we decided to change his position. Like, I mean, I could get with the left wing back thing because that's where he played for Holland, but once we started just playing him at left back, and then he just was out of favor, and there's no real links for Daley Blind. He hasn't been linked anywhere, but he's just not favored, and I think if he does stay, I think that'll be his. I think he may be out of contract. I'm not 100% sure, but I know if it's not this summer, it's definitely next summer that he's out of contract. So yeah, like I said, there's no links to where he's gonna go or if he's been picked up by anyone, but I just think if Mourinho has no intentions of using him, then he's got to go. You got to clear out. It's time to start things over and start fresh. Now, here's a player that I really prefer he didn't go, but, football, right? You can't say much. Ander Herrera. January of 2018, he was linked to a move to Barcelona in the January transfer window. Nothing happened, obviously, and he stayed. And truth be told, in the last couple of weeks or last month or so, he hasn't had any links to anyone. But there is news coming out of Manchester that he's just not happy with his role at the club. I don't think he's happy under the manager at the moment. But why would you be? I mean, it's really confusing. Mourinho is just a joke at times. I had a conversation that, his first season was just putting on a front, and now we're seeing his true colors. I mean, Ander Herrera was player of the season last year, and for good reason. And then he's coming on as a sub, and that's understandable in the beginning of the season because we were playing a 2 in midfield, and I don't think Pogba and Herrera should play in a 2 in midfield, so that was okay. You saw him as a sub. But then when we started playing 3 in midfield, he was very neglected. It was Fellaini first. Like, what was that? Fellaini, Pogba, and Matic? That's not a smart decision. And then there was McTominay over Herrera for a bit, and then Herrera was injured, and now we're here. So such is life. I hope he doesn't go, and if he does go, then I'd really it looks like Fred will be replacing him, or Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. So we'll see how that goes. On to the next one. If I didn't make it clear already, these listings are in order of most likely to least likely. I should have said that. But the next one is Anthony Martial. This is upsetting because, and it's the second last one. It's the second last least likely in my opinion. Anthony Martial. He's been linked to Madrid. He's been linked to PSG. And even Tottenham in recent weeks. I think Tottenham won him more so than anything, but it's a joke, really. I don't know what, this is another Mourinho problem. He just doesn't know how to develop players. And Chelsea fans have been saying that for years before, he came to Manchester United, but now seeing it firsthand, it's the truth, and it hurts because, Memphis is gone. But Memphis wasn't taken to Mourinho, and despite the lack of creative football that Mourinho was playing, or not the most creative football, Anthony Martial was still thriving, and then we bought Sanchez in, and he's just been, put off. It's just ridiculous. Anthony Martial will be one of the best players in the world one day, and I hope it's for Manchester United. But Mourinho has just shown no real interest. I would take Martial over Alexis Sanchez any day of the week. I would have rather we just didn't buy Sanchez. Sanchez contributed 3 goals in 18 games all season. Why did we get him? I understand he's coming into a different club, but to disrespect Martial the way he has, and Martial's not even made the France squad, who have a very high possibility of winning the World Cup this summer. So that's just not fair. It's not fair at all. And if France win the World Cup, I won't be mad at Martial for leaving because he doesn't deserve it. He really doesn't deserve what's happening to him right now. Yeah. And if he does go, I would say his value is upwards of 75 million at least. If we sell him for anything less, then Mourinho should be sacked off. Bloody well, what's his name? Ed Woodward has got to go. Like, yeah. Anyway, last but not least, Luke Shaw is a man who is intriguing in more ways than one. Been at the club since he was 19 years old. Potential out of his butt. That's weird, I know, but I would love for him to stay. And obviously, he's been linked to Spurs more so than anyone. And he has potential to be world class. I still believe that. There's people that used to believe that that's kind of let go of that now. He's still only 22. I mean, just like Martial, and they had a good relationship. Shaw and Memphis had a good relationship, which I think was one of the reasons Memphis didn't work out, because they couldn't play together because of Shaw's injuries. But Shaw has been fit, and I believe 6 out of the 9 appearances he had in the league or something like that, they were clean sheets. He hasn't had a terrible game for me. He hasn't. And the only problem and weakness in his game is probably his crossing. But I believe if you play him more often than not, you could develop things like that. And it's a sad, sad time, because Jose said he wants Ashley Young to play 50-odd games next season. And that's ridiculous. I don't understand. It's upsetting. Yeah. But he's the last of the outs for me. And then actually I think I'm going to split this into 2 videos because it is getting quite long. So part 2 will be out tomorrow of whenever this is uploaded. So yeah.